Today we're going to be talking about the varieties of onions we're growing. We're going to talk a little bit about some of our mistakes that we have made and what not to do. So first off, we're going to talk about the candy onion, and I'm going to assume that that's because they taste like candy, but I don't believe that for a minute. And then we have some Walla Walla onions. And then if you remember, earlier this winter, we started some seeds with the kids, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I did wrong. First off, if you come over here and look at it, I think we should have put them in bigger containers. These ones here came from the garden center, and they have them in bigger containers and fewer onions in each cell. So I think next year we're going to put them in bigger pots like these, and maybe not, thin them out a little bit in between. And then another issue I had was not getting them proper sunlight regularly, so that they would get used to not having as much sunlight. So when I put them outside, they really didn't do well. They really shriveled up a lot. So I think we went down and bought some the little bulbs, and we planted about 45 feet worth over there. So this is the red onions, and I think that's going to be plenty of onions for us. And over there, Jared is planting, I think, the Texas Grotto, and these are my Leeks, which they look terrible compared to the ones I got from the garden center. I think once I can get a greenhouse, at least I'm hoping that it'll help a lot, that they'll get more sunlight and they won't struggle so much and cook to death when I try to harden them off. I mean, I didn't even put them out in the sun for very long, because I know that if they're not used to the sunlight, you got to slowly introduce them. Otherwise, it will cook them. I've lost lots of plants in the past due to that. But this year has just been crazy. And I can't remember this one. Somebody took the steak out of it, so I don't know which one that was. Once I figure out what the other onion was that I planted, I've forgotten. Come on down here with me and we'll show you how we're spacing these out. So we're gonna go ahead and plant them about 6 inches apart, 2 for each drip tape here in each row. So that puts 4 this way every 6 inches. All right, we're finished with this row. So now we're gonna move on to this one. And I think we're gonna go ahead and start this row with the candy onions. And I'm really hoping that I'll only have these 2 rows of onions. If I have any extra ones, I'm sure I can share them with friends and family. We'll try not to let them go to waste. I'm gonna go ahead and put the drip tape in and put the valves in, so that way we can it'll help guide us on how and where to plant, keep them straight. And also, we don't want to run that drip tape across the top of our onions and pull them out of the ground after we spend all that time putting them in the ground. So now I'm going to go ahead and poke the holes for our drip tape.
Poke it through, and then screw this nut out. far as it'll go. You want to sandwich the sidewall of the pipe between that little barb and the edge of the nut. If it's not really tight, it won't seal properly and it'll leak all over here. So this is what's called drip tape. It's a lay flat. It has emitters. I think this stuff is every 8 inches. You can get it with a 12-inch, 24-inch spacing. But you can see the slit in the plastic right there. So you want to run this stuff with a white up, because if you have any trash or dirt or hard water like we do, it'll actually plug the emitters if it's on the bottom, and you have a greater chance of it. So, hard water will still affect it while it's up, but up prevents garbage and stuff from plugging it. So, white side up, and then
when I put it on, I kind of, because when you're twisting it, if you put it a little more towards the side like that, so when you twist it, it lines up with the top, because once you start tightening this nut on there, it
has a tendency to want to
go over the other direction, so then it's on the side, and you want that white line on top.
Voila. So you can get plugs for this stuff, or you can just fold it over like this. 2 or 3 fold. And then scrunch it up. And then you take the piece you cut off and slip over the end. Like so. So this tape we're reusing from last year, and as you can see, something happened. We probably caught it on something as we were rolling it up with the reels, the hose reels. So we're just going to cut this, and we'll bring a new piece in and splice it together like she's doing right now.
This is a coupler.
Make sure when you put your couplers in that your white stripes line up, otherwise you can have one on top, the other one sideways or on the bottom. So you can pinch the nipple on the inside as you hold that hose and tighten it. And, you know, they do pretty good at not spinning, or a pretty good job rather.
Alright, so now I'm going to put some stakes down, and it's probably cheaper just to go and buy the little deals that you put on the ends that have a stake already in it. But this is what we have right now, so we're going to use this. So what I do is I just put the stake down. After I stake it down, then I take this and I kind of twist it a little here, so that way when I bring it around, it keeps it with the line on the top. Just wrap it around a few times. I think I definitely got this one plenty long enough. Alright, now that I'm at the end, go ahead and just like that. finished up our onions last night. It got too dark and April took my phone inside so I couldn't see anything, but because we planted these onions, I had to get the water on them or otherwise they would have died. So while I was putting it together, everything that could go wrong went wrong. There was leaks so bad. I went through and fixed as many of them as I could. But on this hose here, there was so many leaks. Like I would fix one and then another one would form. And then I'd fix another. So there was like, I don't know, maybe 6 couplers already on this one hose that I was like, you know, I can't do it anymore. It's dark, I can't see what I'm doing, so I just took it out and I put a new one in, which I didn't see there was a leak here. It was just a light little mist that was coming out, but it wasn't too bad. It just got things a little wet over here. I'll go ahead and fix that today. So when you're watering, you want to make sure that you water it long enough that it gets the beds wet just about to the edges. And we just watered it overnight. And you don't need to water it every single day. Just, you know, once it starts drying out, then you can start watering it again. You don't want to overwater because then you're gonna, you know, waterlog your plants and they won't like that either. So today I'm gonna go ahead and finish planting up the leeks. So we're gonna go ahead and before we plant any of these rows, really, you want to go in with a rake. You know, we had a lot of debris in there from the weeds, and because it's not really broken down, having that in your soil is going to take the nitrogen from your plants, and so we're just going to go through and try to pull out as much of the big debris and just level it out so it looks nice and the water can flow on it properly. We'll start planting the leeks in here.